The Resident Evil 2 remake is one big love letter to the original game and to fans of the series. That means that the game contains loads of references to the original game plus a few nods to other Capcom titles. Today we take a look at 20 of my favourite Easter eggs or references in Resident Evil 2 remake. Let's get started. So up first we'll take a look at a few of the references to other Capcom games, and there's quite a few of them. In Scenario A you end up on a street surrounded by zombies, so you probably didn't think to take the time and do some Easter egg hunting, and that's where I come in. Did you notice this shop? The name of this shop is actually a reference to, and forgive my pronunciation, Toruhiro Shimagawa. The name of the shop is Shimagawa spelled backwards, who is a writer for the Mega Man series. Next up you can find this shop. Now if you're a fan of the Resident Evil series, this one should immediately ring a bell. If not, MIKHAIL VIKTOR was a Russian mercenary in Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. Maybe before the events of Resident Evil 3 he owned a Russian restaurant, who knows. The next Capcom reference can be found here.
Gotta keep moving.
SAKURA is a character from the Street Fighter series, first appearing in Street Fighter Alpha 2 all the way back in 1996. Now the next couple of references are to one of my favourite Capcom franchises, Dead Rising. As soon as you gain control of your character you can spot this. The name Frank East is an obvious reference to Frank West, the main character from Dead Rising 1 and Dead Rising 4. Before all the chaos on the street, at the gas station you can find this sign. This is a reference to the coffee shop from Dead Rising 1. I remember this coffee shop fondly because it had a hidden samurai sword that you could find early on in the game. One more reference to Capcom can be found in the police station with this locker. For those that don't know, the name JoJo is a reference to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, a very popular anime series which also has a game made by Capcom. Time to move on from Capcom references to the original Resident Evil 2. Staying at the gas station you can spot a note advertising a job vacancy. Take a look at the number and see if you can guess what it means. Yep, that's the release date for the Japanese version of the original Resident Evil 2. A nice touch. Heading into the gas station you can spot some tasty looking ice cream. This is a reference to the healing herbs you can find in the game. Interestingly, the ice cream cabinet advertises yellow herbs that don't actually feature in the game. One more Easter egg you can spot at the gas station are the number plates on each character's vehicle. Leon's license plate says Matilda, the name of his gun, and also the name of a character from the film Leon the Professional. Claire's license plate reads Made in Heaven. This is the same quote seen on the jacket she is wearing and on the jacket hanging up in the STARS office. It could be the Redfield family motto, or it could simply be a reference to the Queen song of the same name. One of the more famous Easter eggs from the original Resident Evil 2 was the appearance of STARS pilot Brad Vickers, and whilst he doesn't appear in the game like he did in the original, you can still find this little reference to him. Resident Evil 2 Remake has some pretty cool alternate outfits for your character, but there's one in particular that I want to draw your attention to, and it's this one. This outfit is a reference to Elsa Walker, a character who was planned to be the female lead for Resident Evil 2 before being developed into Claire Redfield. It's cool they added this into the game for fans that have followed this series' development. Another nice touch can be found inside the RPD. The names listed here are all part of the localization team who are responsible for translating the game for us to play, so we should all say a big thank you. One of my favourite Easter eggs in the game is actually Capcom poking fun at themselves. In the original Resident Evil 2, eagle-eyed players could spot a welcome sign that had been spelt wrong. It was spelt with 2 L's instead of 1. Well, in the remake you can find a big welcome sign with a gap seemingly where a letter should have been. On a desk nearby you can find the missing L. It seems the RPD officers have learnt how to spell since the original game. Another Easter egg found in the West office is this name. Rita Phillips is a character from the PlayStation 2 game Resident Evil Outbreak File Number 2. In fact, she escaped the RPD using a secret passageway in the lobby, much like the player does in Resident Evil 2 Remake. Fans have been clamouring for a Resident Evil 2 remake for years, and one was actually being worked on by fans of the original game before Capcom politely asked them to stop as they were making their own. Well, in the game you can find this. We Do It is a reference to an announcement video posted on the Resident Evil YouTube channel where a Capcom producer revealed a t-shirt saying, "We do it." One of my favourite areas in the remake is the STARS office. Having the chance to explore the area in full 3D is really cool. Some things have changed though. In the original game, Wesker didn't have his own office and was sat with the team. He had a big picture of the STARS team above his desk, and even though he has his own office now, he still keeps a smaller version nearby. The final Easter egg I wanted to share is my favourite in the game, and no, it's not for the reason you're thinking. First of all, to see this Easter egg you need to head to the workers' break room in the sewers. There you can find a film called Hiding Place. Once you have the film, go back to the RPD and to the dark room. Develop the film and one of the pictures will show you Albert Wesker's desk. So head to the STARS office and approach the desk, and this is what you find. So at first it seems like you only find this box, and after all there are no more button prompts to pick things up. Well, press the pick up button anyway to grab the film called Rising Rookie. Head back down to the dark room and develop the film. So this Easter egg is actually a reference to the original Resident Evil 2 where the same picture could be found. Well, I say the same picture, the original picture looks more like the awesome YouTuber Nitro Rad than Rebecca Chambers in my opinion. In the original, to find this picture you had to stand by Wesker's desk and hit the interact button 50 times, and to this day I still have no idea how people found it. So I know I said that the Rebecca Chambers photo was the last Easter egg, and in my opinion it is, but I wanted to run a couple of potential Easter eggs past you before I finished. The first is the appearance of these guys. These mannequins appeared in Resident Evil 7 and many think that they are a reference to that game. I on the other hand just think it's a reused asset. What do you think? Another dubious Easter egg is the sleep schedule you can find at the lab. According to many, the names Cyril Archer and Desmond Locke are references to the TV shows Archer and Lost respectively. Again, I'm really unsure about this one, so what do you think? The next clip is one that I'm going to see if you get without my help. I'm going to play 2 clips and I want to see if you can work out the apparent reference. Here goes. So did you get it? Supposedly these locker codes are a reference to Capcom, the cap code obviously being Capcom and DCM being a reference to Devil May Cry if you swap the M and the C. There's also a Street Fighter code you can find too. If I'm honest, out of all these debatable Easter eggs, this is the one I'd most like to believe, but again I ask for your opinion. So that's all I have for you today. If you enjoyed this video then a like is really appreciated. After the overwhelmingly positive reception to the first episode, I'm currently working on episode 2 of Resident Evil 2 Remake Mythbusters, where I'll be tackling myths such as does having the silencer silencer equipped on Claire's SMG mean that lickers will ignore your shots? And is there any way to push a zombie off after you're attacked while still avoiding damage? And many more. I aim to have that video out sometime this week, so make sure you have notifications turned on so you don't miss it. If you're a fan of Easter eggs, secrets and little details in games, then perhaps consider subscribing, as that's what this channel is all about. Thank you all for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.